Alrighty. G'day everyone, back again with another initial review, and this is the new Derringer by Khotang Khukuri and Handicraft. Now originally I had these done by Deepak Suna over at Everest Blade, but he couldn't keep the shape consistent, so now we're over to Khotang Khukuri and Handicraft, and he's done this magnificent piece of work here. So we'll start with the total weight. Well, make sure that stays on the scales there. We've got 1,080 grams, so just over a kilogram, and that's for the entire package. And we'll go with the main blade as well and do the weight of the main blade. So I'll give you a look of it first though. Here it is. It is a monster. It is a very large blade. It's quite thin though. So I believe it starts at 7 mil at the bolster and goes down to 4 mil at its thinnest. So we'll chuck it on the scales by itself and we'll see how it goes. So what's that? So it's pretty much spot on 700 grams, which is the most I'm willing to carry as far as weight goes with just the blade itself. Usually with all of the accessories and stuff, I'm willing to carry more, but that's quite nice. It's very well balanced, it's quite fast. I'm guessing that's because of the thin spine towards the front here. So it's got the finger choil as well and the thumb ramp, so you can choke up on it a little bit for finer stuff. For a monster blade, you know, that's not always necessary, but the other thing that this cutout choil does is it allows the blade to behave similar to an axe when the shock travels down the blade, so it makes it a little more durable. With such a thin spine, I would not be batoning this blade. I would not be going stupid with it on super hard Australian woods or anything like that, but for lighter woods and machete work, yeah, and obviously martial applications, this will be fantastic. So let's get into some statistics, or specifications rather. Alright, so for the main blade, blade length is 37 centimeters, 370 mil. That's massive. It is absolutely huge. The widest point of the belly is 70 mils or 7 centimeters wide, so again, huge. And the handle is a little smaller, but as you can see, it still fits my hand very well. Handle length from the bolster is 12.5 centimeters. So 125 mil. And it's a bit of a wider handle. This one is for 38 mil wide. Across this way. It's got my keeper plate on it, which is fantastic. I love the shape that Barun's done on this model, very unique. And the carder is similar to a little Sayek style or clip point, sort of Warncliffe point carder there. Very high grind, very, very sharp, still about a 3 mil spine on this one, and that's a great little knife on its own. I reckon you could do some good carving and stuff with that, no problems. So that's pretty fantastic as well. Both blades are very sharp, so with the thinner spine it allows you to taper, and with that 7 centimeter width you have all the room in the world to hollow out the fullers and to get that primary bevel coming down to the cutting edge just right. So I reckon Barun's done a fantastic job on that, or his team have done an awesome job. It is water quenched, this one, so when we do the testing, I can't go too heavy-handed with it because of that thin spine. That worries me a little bit, but we'll give it a go and we'll get harder as we go through the testing. If this was oil quenched and spring tempered, I'd have no problem beating the living hell out of this. But anyway, you can order this with a oil quench. It's a little bit extra cash. So, now that that's done, let's do a balance test for it. Now, looking at it and just the feel of it, I don't believe it's going to balance on its edge, which, as everybody knows, is my preference, but it's not a requirement. So we'll chuck it on the handle of the carder here and see if we can find the balance point. The balance point, yeah, see? I've got the forward back balance point, but it just wants to roll straight over. So it's not balanced on its edge. I've said it before, the reason I prefer it to balance on its edge where possible is because it makes the swing very intuitive. So your edge alignment and everything is far easier to achieve, even with a more careless swing, if it's balanced towards the edge. Not for this one, but that's okay. It really sings when you swing it through the air. I had a swing of it before. I was having a little bit of a play, and it does. It whistles. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah. All right, so sharpness test. We'll get a piece of paper, and we'll do a little bit of slicing on some paper here. So we'll start with the carder. These are straight out of the packet. I haven't honed them, I haven't stropped them, nothing. Just that is amazing. And I think that's one of the cool things about a straight edge knife and why a lot of people prefer them. They're easier to sharpen and easier to keep a uniform edge all the way along, whereas with a curved blade like this, it's a little more difficult, but that's okay. That's kind of why I designed this to be a straight edge. You'll see my new carder coming out soon. They don't have a straight edge on them. They have all sorts of weird curves and angles, and that's for different functions. But you'll see this also just goes straight through. That's push cutting. That's I'm not drawing the edge much. That's tearing. So I'll start again. There you go. No problem whatsoever. Very sharp, very light for the size. It feels light. It's as I said, 700 grams is right on the cutoff for me, but it feels light when you swing it. It's quite fast. It's quite maneuverable, easy, and it'd make a fantastic martial blade. But we'll see how it goes with wood very soon. The last test I'm going to do before we cut it away here is scabbard retention. Now, because of the shape of the blade, I'm not expecting this to retain in the scabbard very well. Okay, this sort of a shape is far more conducive to leather with maybe a press stud or Kydex, but Barun doesn't do that. He doesn't have Kydex or anything like that. So we'll go like that. We'll push it down like this and we'll give it a shake and it stays in there. If I give it a wiggle, it'll fall out. I can almost guarantee it, but for the moment, it's good. Now, when I did that with the original Derringer to try and get it to retain, the edge come through the scabbard. So Barun's done a fantastic job on the scabbard for this one. And overall, a very beautiful, fast, large blade. This is almost a short sword. Well, I would classify this as short sword, but it is fantastic. It feels very good. So it'll be interesting to see how this stacks up during my my hard testing and my batoning and stuff. I don't want to baton it. I don't think it'll handle it, but we'll do it anyway during the testing to see how it goes. All right. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for your attention. This is Derringer, and if you would like to buy one of the new Derringers, contact either myself or Barun Bareilly on Facebook Messenger, or reply to the comments of this video on YouTube, and we will contact you and we'll get some dialogue happening. Okay, thank you very much for your time. See you for the next one.